What is that? Come on, guys! You're killing me! Red Dog can see this crap!
Hey everyone, John O'Sullivan here, author of Changing the Game, the founder of the Changing the Game project. I'm out here in my hometown of Bend, Oregon, on a beautiful summer Saturday, and there's at one of my favorite sports parks, and baseball tournament's about to begin. And it got me thinking about the summer tournament season, and namely, one of the most controversial things that happens during the summer is officials. And sometimes how we feel that officials have slighted our kids or slighted our kids' team and maybe cost us a game or even a trophy. And it's incredibly important because this is probably going to happen to your team this summer. This is probably going to happen sometime this summer to your child, where a strike call is missed or an offside call is missed. And it's incredibly important how you act and how you react when these things happen. So I'd like you to think about 3 things this summer when you go to your kids' sporting events to make them more enjoyable and to help your kids perform better. The first thing is this: your kids hear what you say, but they remember what you do. And this is particularly important when it comes to how you behave when there are officials and umpires and authority figures in place. Now, I've seen many parents that I've worked with talk to their kids about not ever talking back to officials, but then the game starts and the referee makes a bad call and all the parents are on the sideline saying that ball should have been the other way, that call should have been the other way, that should have been a goal, that should have been offsides. And when we show anger and disrespect for that authority figure, what we're telling our kids is that's what you're supposed to do as well, because we are modeling the behavior that we want them to model. So as coaches and as parents, it's really important to remember that what we do is what our kids are going to remember. And how we deal with that adversity of a bad call is how our kids will eventually deal with the adversity of the bad call. And how we show respect or disrespect to the official or the referee or the authority figure is how our kids will eventually do that as well. So that's incredibly important. Number 2, and this one's really near and dear to my heart, take a step back, take a breath, and look at the age and the experience level of the officials at your kids' game. Now, if you have a young athlete, 10, 11, 12 years old, chances are that the umpires or the referees at his or her game are about the same age. And just like your son or your daughter is learning to play their sport, those officials are learning to referee the sport. And so if you are wanting your child to perform better, you're not going to yell and scream and berate them if they make a bad play. Well, if we want referees to perform better, we can't yell and scream and berate the referees either. Just because they get paid a few bucks for that game, just because they put on a striped shirt, doesn't mean that we shouldn't show them the same respect that we're showing the athletes on the field. Now, every year, 70% of new referees and new umpires are having to be replaced by youth sports organizations because it's just not worth the money. And parents are pulling their kids out because they fear for their own kids' safety at a youth soccer game or a youth baseball game because of a missed goal call or a missed strike or out or a missed tag. And this is really scary. If we want youth sports to grow and thrive in our country, we need young officials just like we need young players. And we need to make that environment a positive one for the players and the officials. And when we argue and scream over bad calls, we're making that environment not only a negative one that is causing the officials to quit, but we're making a negative one for our kids that's causing them to quit. Third, think about how you like to be treated at work. Would you like it if you made a mistake and your coworkers or your clients or your customers started yelling and screaming at you? Or your favorite customers, the ones that yell at you when you mess something up? Of course not. You like people to treat you with respect. Well, our officials are the same way. Sure, they get paid a few bucks, but it's not a living for most people. They need your support on the sideline, and they need your understanding that, you know what, just like players, they're going to make mistakes too. And so put yourself in their shoes for a second and treat them exactly like you would like to be treated if you were in the middle of that field. You're trying to help kids play. You're trying to facilitate a game. You're trying to keep up with the play and run around. And yeah, you know what? You're not going to see everything. But just try to be a little more understanding of their situation. Because here's a little secret for you. I learned this as a coach. Because as a young coach, I used to give referees a really hard time. But as I got a little bit older, I figured out that it was better to be friendly with referees. And if I disagreed with their decision, could I do it a little more respectfully so that they understood that I disagreed, but I didn't do it in a way that was demeaning to them or disrespectful to them or cut away at their authority. Because when I did that, what happens was, well, they had to take a stand and show who was in charge, and that never benefited my team. So if you want to benefit your kids and help them play better and help get referees on their side, you won't do that by getting on referees and being the team that always gives referees a hard time. You'll be that by being the team that says thank you to the referees at the end of the game, that shakes their hand and says, thanks for doing a good job, thanks for trying your hardest. So do that. Enjoy your summer. It's such an amazing time. Enjoy this time with your kids. Get out there on the field, get some sun, cheer for your kids, watch them grow as people and as athletes, and help them perform their best by having a little bit of perspective and showing respect to the officials and teaching your kids that, you know what, referees and umpires, they're not perfect, just like we're all not perfect, and when they make mistakes, they deserve the same understanding we do. Thanks for listening. Enjoy everything about your kids' sports experience, and I'll see you soon.